The Ford car company was booming in the 1920s. As the company grew, so did the need for latex to make rubber tires. Henry Ford's solution: build 2 American towns in the heart of Brazil's Amazon jungle. The project hit some snags, but the towns, they're still standing. CGTN's Paulo Cabral takes a look.
We are in a town in the heart of the Amazon jungle, but these houses do not look like typical homes in this region. The buildings look North American, and that's no coincidence. They are located in 2 towns, Fordlândia and Belterra, built here in the 1920s in the Brazilian state of Pará by Henry Ford. It was Ford's jungle base to produce latex, the raw material to make rubber tires for his cars. The U.S.-made fire hydrants, including some installed among the rubber trees, are some of the lasting marks of Ford's ambitions. Now it's all long gone, but 3 times a day the siren that used to go off. Marking the beginning and end of shifts is a reminder of what life used to be like here in Belterra. Local poet and musician Francisco Bezerra says the city is one of his sources of inspiration.
When the land was demarcated, it also got to be named Ford Plantations in Belterra. In little over 2 years, the noble Americans did a perfect job and created the infrastructure for their agriculture. They made many homes and roads to set up a production system.
The adventure began in 1927 when Ford acquired a large area in the Brazilian state of Pará to create Fordlândia and plantations of rubber trees on the banks of the Tapajós River. In 1934, most of the activity was transferred to Belterra on even higher ground, searching for better conditions for the rubber tree plantations. These are the remains of Henry Ford's rubber tree plantations. In the jungle, these trees are not found all together as they are here. Usually they are spread over large areas, so workers had to spend days in the woods collecting the rubber. Henry Ford's plan was to have a plantation so the collection would be much easier, quicker, productive. It seemed like a great idea. In the end, it was a big problem. Being planted close to another made it easy for a fungus that attacked the rubber trees to spread quickly. In nature, distance was a plant's protection against contamination. After the initial failure in Fordlândia, scientists managed to get things right in the plantations in Belterra. But this local historian, coordinator of the city's memory center, says it was then too late. In 1945, Ford abandoned the project, selling it to the Brazilian government. Production continued until 1975, when it finally ended.
Henry Ford was already over 80 years old, and the company was already being run worldwide by his only son, Edsel Ford. But Edsel Ford died when he was only 47 years old, and that was a great shock to Henry Ford, the company, and the project in Brazil. And the second reason was the development of the production of synthetic rubber on an industrial scale.
Chardival Pantojas lives in one of the old wooden houses of the American village. His mother worked on Ford's project.
Discipline was very rigid. If Ford said, for example, that alcohol could not be sold in town, that's what happened. And anyone caught drinking would be immediately sent away. People had to follow strictly Ford's laws.
On the banks of the Tapajós River, there are remains of the old installations. Over the years, this has become a tourist spot, though mostly for its freshwater beaches. But visitors interested in history have an interesting piece of it to explore when they come here. Paulo Cabral, CGTN, Belterra, Brazil.